You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it.
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hey, gang, welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wool Dogson, with my buddy, Kev Huggin Duggan.
Hey, guys.
Hey, but let's not forget the tannest of the group, Kyle the Coach Duggan.
Hola, amigos.
What are you, where is this?
Where are you?
We're in the lobby of the Hard Rock Riviera Maya. Hi, boys.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
It's roughly 9 o'clock and we have our shirts off in the lobby.
Hey, that's vacation right there. That's going hard on vacation.
I'd like to know a good time when you don't take your shirt off.
Yeah.
You're lucky if I have one on. So
next week at the Draft Boys, this is the kind of performance I expect out of you two.
Shirts and skins.
Turn this in the lobby by 9 o'clock.
all right.
Deal.
I've got 1 week to lose 100 pounds. Here we go.
Here we go.
Well, Kyle just wanted to pop on and say, hey, Kyle, awesome to see you, buddy. I know that we'll have you pop back in with your thoughts on some of the stuff going on, but glad to see you're there having a good time and the boys are doing well. And
keep raging, Duggan Bros. Let's go.
Right.
Keep the night going.
We will.
Okay.
We're party.
Excellent.
Go off, boys. Have
All
fun.
right, boys. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you.
Bye.
Say bye.
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 All right, folks. Well, we'll say hey to Kyle a little bit later here, but as we start the show, lots to talk about. Obviously, there's been some news rumblings going on with the Chargers. We're seeing guys hit the field.
I forgot this was happening. I really did.
It snuck up on me too, and I think a lot of other people, because otherwise I think we would have been chatting about it, but just kind of came out of left field. But we'll get all to that. We've got a fan focus lined up, a Craig experience, and an Ask Boltfam 2-person edition. Let's get to it. Started off at the top here. As we said, the Chargers are back on the field. Eric Smith tweeted out, the Bolts are back in the building. This is not a drill, folks. Chargers voluntary off-season program begins today in Costa Mesa. So with the Chargers off-season conditioning phase 1 is in full effect, Justin Herbert, Eric Kendricks, Khalil Mack, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Corey Linsley are present to name just a few players. So,
And that's awesome because they don't need to be there. Like, this is just like, hey, guys, come on in if you want. Let's start working. And like a lot of our big names showed up to practice, which you love to see that. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, the captains, the team leaders, if you will. So,
Totally.
all right. And then the big news that dropped today, actually, the day that we record this episode, because yet again, we were like, well, I guess we'll talk about a few things.
Literally, I was not looking for. I forgot that we had this started today. Didn't realize we were going to get new players signed back to the team and all this other stuff that's coming up. So I was beyond excited for this news.
Big time, yes. The Chargers have re-signed Jalen Guyton, and to what length? To what dollar amount?
I'm gonna guess.
Nobody knows.
I'm gonna guess around $1 million. And for 1 year, I think that's probably
$1 million for 1 year.
Yeah, like right around $1 million, maybe just south of it, maybe like the 900s, 850, somewhere in there. I'll put my money on that.
So, for those that don't remember, Guyton led the AFC and ranked third in the NFL in 2020 with a receiving average of 18.8 yards per catch, with a minimum of 25 receptions. Do the math there.
Yeah.
Totaled 4 receptions of over 50 yards from 2020 to 2021, which tied for the third most by any player over that 2-year stretch. And in 38 career games for the Chargers, including 11 starts, Guyton has recorded 61 catches for over 1,000 yards, averaging 16.8 per catch and 6 touchdowns. So Guy's productive.
He was a missing part of you keep seeing all these highlight videos go up online of people getting excited for the season and throwing all the Justin Herbert's best throws. I still some of his best throws were to Jalen Guyton.
They were to Jalen Guyton. Yeah.
It's just a reality. I hope he's coming back from his knee, his ACL, fully healthy and ready to go, and hasn't lost any steps or anything. But this is great news. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit of that pressure off having to get a for sure hit in the draft.
Yeah.
So we have 4 wide receivers on the roster right now, and those are them. We just added Guyton, so that's good. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. You know, this is another guy, you know, we talk about Austin Eckler being the undrafted free agent that he was when we signed him. He wasn't a draft pick, but we picked him up, saw some flashes with him in the preseason, and then started being productive during the regular season. And then when Melvin Gordon went away, we said, hey, Austin Eckler, come here. Let me give you one of them big old hugs.
Come.
And now Jalen Guyton, while Jalen Guyton was also an undrafted free agent, granted it was with the Cowboys, but still a guy that was not a top tier draft pick and still able to put up some of those numbers that we were just talking about. So this is a guy that's going to be fighting for it and fighting after having suffered a big injury. But don't just take it from me, folks. Let's turn it over now to Kyle, the coach Duggan, who had this to say about the signing of Jalen Guyton.
All right, I'm back. So, hot take, Jalen Guyton gets signed. I think this changes the draft, boys. That wide receiver speed guy deep down the field, we got him. He's already there. So now somebody falls, we're going to go because that's the guy of the future. But I think now everything is open. Every position's open. Also, Jalen Guyton, come on. I just think there's so much untapped potential still there. I think we probably got a steal on a 1-year deal. I haven't seen the specifics of the contract. They just showed up at OTAs. But I think this is huge, big, good news for the Chargers. Had kind of a quiet offseason, but this is one of those little deals that feels like it's going to pay dividends come the time the season comes around. So let's go, bolt up, baby.
And I agree with that entirely. It's the idea that, Jalen Guyton became, a good player when he was teamed with Justin Herbert. That was that 2020 year when he was an undrafted guy. Like, he wasn't supposed to make the team, and Justin and him found chemistry. And next thing you know, he's got some of Justin's best highlights, catching the ball in the end zone. So yeah. It seemed like they were off to a good start last year before he went down in that third game. So it's just depth. I think we can, I never really wanted a wide receiver in the first round. I really didn't. Like, I think there's so many other needs, but this kind of makes it a little easier for me to even want that less still, if that makes sense.
For a first round pick, I think you can still have the option of picking up a wide receiver in some of the later rounds. But for a first round pick now, God, knock on every freaking piece of wood. As long as everybody stays healthy, we've got a solid wide receiver room with some moderate backup. And I mean, if we pick up another wide receiver later on in the draft, that's you're not reliant on that guy to be productive on the first day, because you've already got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and potentially Jalen Guyton. And assuming that he's okay from his injury, I mean, we haven't necessarily, we just found out that he got re-signed. They haven't been talking about like how he's doing after his injury or anything like that. So
I think like a third round, like Mims, everyone's talking about. I think that's more of an ideal place to get a wide receiver for us now, third round. So I was looking at it earlier. I did not realize. I don't know why I didn't realize this. The amount of money we're spending on our edge rushers is crazy. It's over $35 million for each guy.
Oh yeah.
Like, the more I'm looking at that, we need to draft an edge guy quick. Like, soon. We need a guy that's going to be able to step in, because you're not going to be able to carry both those guys when Justin gets his payday. So that was kind of a revelation for me today when I was looking at that. Like, oh shit, like that. It really is wide open who these guys could take in the first couple rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's been the argument for people saying that we need to get a wide receiver, because we all know that Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, they're going to be in that same club of having to pay these guys 30 plus mil in the next year. So I think it's going to end up being like a pick your poison. Like, all right, well, which position group are you going to pick to draft, knowing that you have to pay them a buttload of money next year? Which way are you going to go? So it doesn't have to be wide receiver. It still could be wide receiver, but it doesn't have to be. Given that we're in a win now mode, you want somebody that's going to be productive on the first day, somebody that's going to be on the starting lineup come opening day, they're going to be productive. So who could that person be? Probably not a wide receiver, but it could be.
Well, you look at Jalen Guyton, who we were just talking about. I think Justin does less with more. I think he can. You get a guy out there. You look at his stats with who he was throwing to in those years when everybody was down. He's just an amazing quarterback that can make anybody good. So I think you just need those measurables. You need the guy with speed. I think you can find speed in those later rounds that could be the Jalen Guyton that has crazy speed. He doesn't need to be a big name first couple rounds that everyone's like, oh crap, this guy's perfect and he catches everything. We just don't fully need. It'd be nice to have, but I'm looking at some of these other positions. I'm like, maybe there's a little bit more need over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Just I say that it could be a wide receiver just because
it's probably going to wide receiver.
I don't want anybody's hearts to get broken because it's like, oh, okay, well now we surely won't get a wide receiver, and then
if you know our track record, it's going to be a wide receiver now. It's almost guaranteed.
All right. Well, in other news, for those that saw, Justin Herbert was not throwing footballs. Instead, he was catching fish. He was delving back into his high school fishing club days and decided to catch some big ones.
Some fish.
So per ESPN, some of the NFL's biggest names traded pads and footballs for rods and reels this week. Oh, who wrote this on Saturday?
It's per ESPN. I think there was no name on the articles. I think somebody just ghost wrote this thing. Rods and reels.
On Saturday, Justin Herbert, Dalvin Cook, AJ Brown, Chris Jones, Matthew Judon, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Williams, and Pat Surtain participated in the Sport Fishing Championships, The Catch event in Miami. The NFL players were divided into 4 teams with professional fishermen. 2 NFL players might have had a leg up, which would have been Herbert, who was a former fishing club president in high school, and Cook, who told The Athletic that he has been fishing since childhood. So the Minnesota Vikings running back fishes in a river behind his home in Miami. Justin ended up catching himself a sailfish and 2 snappers. Snappers. So I believe he ended up taking second place. Is that what I heard? I didn't see it.
I believe so. I caught all the social media clips. I realized I didn't have this channel on my YouTube TV. I was kind of bummed. I sat down to watch it and it wasn't actually a feasible option for me. So, but social media, you can get it all there too.
There you go. Yeah, there was definitely some clips of Justin Herbert being his Justin Herbert self with interviews.
What did he say? My favorite quote was, "I hope we just catch a good time." You know, what I mean?
I just hope we catch a good time today.
Just want to catch a good time.
That's all I want to catch, right?
Yeah,
right,
he honestly, they were asking him questions and he went right back into podium mode.
Oh, God,
just for the guys, here for the guys.
He can't turn it off.
But then he kept going. He's like, "Hey, we're just here to catch a good time." You know what I mean? You feel me?
Catch a good time all the time.
All the time.
So, looking back over at the offseason program with the guys hitting the field, here's a couple of quotes that we pulled. This one is from Brandon Staley on connecting with offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Said, "Great to team up with him. So much respect from afar, getting to work with him on a day-to-day basis. You're just able to improve a lot as a coach. I think we're able to make each other's game better. I know how much he's going to help our football team, not just our offense. It's been great to see how he sees the football game, what his plan of attack is, the vision he has for playing offensive football, and all the experiences that he's had both as a player and as a coach. He's a winner. I think that's something that was very attractive to me as you go back to his days as a high school player of playing for his father to Boise State. Let's go. To his time in the NFL as a player and as a coach. They've been very, very good wherever he's gone. I'm excited for him to bring all of those experiences to the Chargers and for us to team up. He's been fantastic for our staff. Now I'm excited for our players to get to be in front of them every day."
I'm so excited. This is that one variable where this is the new kind of flavor, the new thing about the Chargers that no one knows what it's going to be, like what we're going to be with him. So I'm just excited to see what that does to our roster and to what Justin was, 2020 and 2021. So come on, let's go. Kellen.
No, I'm excited to see this. We don't know what it's going to do with the Chargers but we've seen what he's done with previous teams, and we know the excitement of seeing somebody, like Justin Herbert, and knowing, okay, well, we know what he did in college. What's he going to do in the professional NFL game? And turns out he came to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he was all out of gum. So
yeah.
Kellen Moore potentially has already at least had a stint in the NFL as far as being an offensive coordinator. And so it's not like he's jumping. He's a winner. It's not like he's going from, the NFL to some other higher upper echelon of football. It's like, no, he's just going to another team to bring everything that he learned from the Dallas Cowboys and his experience to the Chargers and instill that into Justin Herbert and our offense. And like Staley said, to make the defense better. If I feel like we talked about it, and maybe I'm misremembering, but it was like talking about, Joe Lombardi and how, the defense going up against Joe Lombardi. It's like, okay, well, that's what the defense is prepared for, is prepared to play against a Joe Lombardi type offense. But now that you've got Kellen Moore in there, it's like, all right, well, the defense is going to have to play against a Kellen Moore led offense. And what is that going to do? How is that iron sharpens iron that we like to talk about so much?
Yeah.
So really excited to see. And then on draft preparation, Brandon Staley said, you have to pour yourself into the draft, pour yourself into the players. There's no bigger investment that you make as a club than who you bring into your football team. You have to have as much knowledge of that player as possible, and you have to have as many viewpoints as possible. I love the draft since I was a little kid. I grew up watching the draft. The Staley family was watching every pick in the draft from as long as I can remember. Now you get a chance to be a part of that selection process. You want to dive into that process full steam. We take a lot of pride in the level of detail that we have in this process. It's a tremendous process. Next week is going to be exciting for the Chargers.
This is kind of interesting for me because you don't really get the full insight of like how coaches are, locked in with the GM and the scouts and how they all work together to decide who they're going to pick. Mm-hmm. And from when I watched this interview and when he was asked the question, it was just like, oh, I've done a lot of work on a lot of these players. And I think if you look back at Staley's 2 drafts so far, they've been successful. I think they've been some of the more successful in terms of what we've been able to do in Telesco's tenure so far. Mm-hmm. So I just see every year as an improvement for Staley and them, and I think there's going to be it's going to be interesting to see who they decide to go with, because clearly he has a vision and he knows what players are going to make this team better. Mm-hmm. So I'm along for the ride. I'm excited to see what that means. It was kind of cool to see how much he puts into this. Cause when people show up to his office, he always like rattles off all their stats at them and does all that.
He clearly does his homework. Yeah.
He's prepared for every guy that they could possibly pick to get on a phone with them and do that exact same thing. So, that's kind of a cool insight that didn't fully have before this press conference today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It started making me think of like Ray Liotta and Goodfellas, like as far back as I can remember. I used to watch the draft as a kid.
Yeah.
He's just Staley family.
Just sitting there like, in Indian style, just sitting in front of the TV, just like
football helmet
savant
on.
style, just like just numbers flashing everywhere. Yeah. This draft is going to express itself right here.
Express itself.
This is going to express itself. I love it.
All right. Well, looking at some of the other quotes that we pulled here, this is from Eric Kendricks, newest linebacker for the Chargers. Said, I don't want to talk about Minnesota a lot, but it's a big part of my past. I was there for 8 years. It was a big deal. I think that coming to the Chargers, especially being around a bunch of great players, it's going to bring another level to my game. It's going to make me feel like I'm the underdog again. I'm back to the bottom of the totem pole. I have to prove myself to everybody, my new teammates and things like that. Like I've said, I'm not going to do much. I'm not going to do too much.
That's a little different.
Okay.
I ain't going to do much.
I ain't going to do much. I'm just going to sit back and let you guys play. I'm not going to do too much. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself, but it's my natural personality to feel that way.
There's something crazy about that, where you're like the head, the leader of the defense of a team, and then you basically, it's like going to a new school. It's like going from like high school to college or whatever that transition is, where you feel comfortable, you have that routine, you have that day to day. Oh, and guess what? none of that remains, and you have to start over with your relationships. You have to build that back. So I'm excited for him. I think it's going to be a really good year for our linebacking core because he's a part of it this year.
Right. Bringing that competitive spirit of like, I can't just come in here and be like, I'm Eric Kendricks. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know what I do for a living.
He pops his imaginary collar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, he's got to come in and actually show why they brought him in the first place. So
yeah. Did you just make a reference to Giles?
Of course I do.
You know what I do for a living.
You know what I do for a living.
Thank you for that.
He's scratching on the chalkboard.
He walks into his first meeting and just scratches down the chalkboard. I'll give you the whole damn thing.
No.
The head, the tail, the whole
I'll give you
damn.
I'll give you the playoffs, the championship, the ring, the trophy, the whole damn thing.
Love it.
All right. And then defensive lineman Morgan Fox, on experiencing success in this defensive scheme, said, Coach Staley believes in me and he gives me opportunities to go make plays. That's something that he's always done every year that I've been with him. It's just a plethora of opportunities. He puts me in positions to win and believes in my abilities to win.
This was a good reminder of why he came back, because everyone was like, oh, remember his agent was like, oh, this is a bullshit contract. The Chargers should be like, he went off. It was kind of odd when he did that.
Morgan Fox,
not he didn't, his agent did.
Oh,
his
no,
agent,
I don't remember this.
It was some shitty tweet he posted out. But this is clearly because did Morgan Fox, he was with the Rams, went to Carolina for a big deal, didn't do anything there. And then they cut him and he came back to Staley. I think he just knows that he is a better football player in Staley's system. Like,
right.
He just is. He just knows. Like, he knows that if he stays in the system, he's going to have even more opportunities when this contract's done. Because I know that wasn't a very long contract. So he's great. I'm excited for him as well.
Absolutely. I mean, they're not going to just give opportunities to anybody. This isn't, Little League where everybody gets a chance and everybody gets a bat and hit the ball. Yeah, this isn't a participation trophy team. This is about you get the opportunity if you can perform. And if you don't perform, then, hey, guess what? You end up getting cut mid-season and you end up getting signed to those pirate hookers that we've heard so much about.
So much hookering. But it's also interesting the other side of it, where it's like, maybe I could have gotten a little bit money somewhere else, but the level of football I'm going to play here is going to be better than there, and he just knows it. I think there's an element to that, the Staley effect, if you will.
Speaks to his character if that ends up being the case. So obviously great to have all these guys back out on the field, and great to have all of you people that join us at Patreon. Patreon.com/Charger Chat. Did I take the wind out of your sails?
That literally just I am now being eaten by a shark. I just fell off my boat and now I'm paddling.
Smile, you son of a
Yeah. No,
all right.
I got nothing. I'm good. I think I made all my points. I was waxing poetic on Morgan Fox a little longer, but you threw me in the water.
Ode to Morgan Fox. Well, enough about him. We got to talk about patreon.com/Charger Chat, folks. All the funny stuff we got over there, all the funny videos that we've put up and plan to put up, especially with the draft coming right around the corner.
We had a little meeting, didn't we? We
did. We had to sit down. We had a luncheon, if you will, to talk about all the things that we're planning to do for the draft. So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/Charger Chat. And as always, we have to shout out the newest patrons, or in this instance, patron.
The streak's
Respect
alive.
the streak.
The streak's
folks.
alive.
We've got to mention J. Rob.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Our newest patron. Thank you so much for joining. And if you don't want to go to patreon.com/Charger Chat, that's all right. You can go on over to chargerchat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there. T-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the members section and ask questions in Ask Boltfam. So go check out chargerchat.com. All right, time to go on to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. Let's see what kind of fan we're going to bring in a focus this week.
All right, guys, we're back with another Fan Focus, and we are super lucky to have Gabe from San Jose. What is going on, Gabe?
What's up? I'm just hanging out here, and I appreciate you having me.
Oh, man, we're super excited to have you, and I appreciate you hanging in with me. I know we had to reschedule a few times, so I appreciate you. But let's kick this thing off the way we always do, my friend. How did you become a Charger fan?
Yeah, well, actually, I was about in 5th grade. I grew up in San Jose, And just happened that I think it was PE. I was maybe actually in 4th grade, and we were just playing flag football. And it was like my first time ever playing football. And I just, I was kind of good at it. And I was just like, this is really fun. I like this sport. I think I could, do it. And at that time was when LT was, going off. He was having his record-breaking season, and he was like playing a primetime game. And I think he was playing the Chiefs or something, and he broke off. Like, I remember specifically, he broke off like a huge, like 60, 70-yard run. And I'm just like, dang, this guy is amazing. I like the lightning bolts. And also, I don't really want to be a 49ers fan or Raiders fan like everybody else in my area. So I'm like, all right, let's go Chargers. And, at that moment, I just kind of committed myself to the Chargers, and it's been that way ever since.
I love it. And it's the powder blues, dude. You can't get any better jersey than the powder blues.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
That's awesome. I love hearing all the origin stories. We've had everything from, Madden to your story to like, it's just so cool to meet everybody and find out how they became fans. So, speaking of, just us being fans, football kind of kicked back in today where players showed up to the non-voluntary camp. So what were your thoughts on kind of where things are going? What are you excited about? We're very close to the draft. So what are you excited about this season so far?
That Jaguars game was really tough to swallow, and I'm excited to, run it back, and let's try and improve on that. And just try and get a little further this time. Hopefully we're pushing for the Super Bowl. I'm excited to build on our weaknesses in last season and, in the past, and just keep evolving and becoming, I want to be a more balanced offense. I think, if we make the right decisions, we can totally do that. And I just want to see us kick some ass, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's exciting with Kellen Moore too. I think, kind of the sky's the limit, and it's exciting because we don't quite know what we're going to get, but we know what he did with the Cowboys. So you can kind of bring that over to what we could be next year, which is kind of exciting. So like, speaking of that, some of the players, that could be a Charger come, some close to this time next week. Who do you want to target in those first couple rounds, and who do you think would really make us a better team?
Yeah, I think the no-brainer would be Bijan Robinson. I don't think he's going to last that long. But if he was to, I think that would be a game changer for us. If we were able to pair him with Austin Eckler, that's just a dynamic backfield. It would be Justin Herbert would have the ability to hand him the ball, both of them the ball, and take some rest. He doesn't have to throw it all the time, and that's what I like to see. For example, right when he hurt his ribs, the next game he threw like almost 50 times when I think that was just not good. And I want to see him hand the ball off a little more and take some more rest and not have to just Superman it every single game. So running back, I think, would be huge. I think that's our biggest priority, maybe a little controversial there. And I also want to see us build the offensive line better, and defensive line and inside linebacker. I want to become a nasty football team, aggressive, bully the other team, and stop getting outrushed every game by the opponents. So build the trenches, get the run game going, and stop the run. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, and it's cool, to hear your perspective too, because this is one of those years where it feels like we kind of have a lot of pieces where there's not this like glaring, like, oh, we're so screwed. We have to get like this one position or we have no chance. It's kind of like this thing where, hey, if Bijan Robinson's there at 21, I, as a fan, would not be bummed out if we had the top running back in the league. You know what I mean? And then there's other positions all over the place. So it'll be kind of exciting what they decide to do and, kind of the trajectory of where this draft takes us. But, we like to ask people, you've been a fan for a while. The beginning, LT years is kind of when you got started. So you've had a wealth of time to, being a Charger fan. What would you say is one of your best Charger memories, best Charger moments?
I gotta say the AFC divisional round or the conference round, the second round of the playoffs when we beat Peyton Manning the year that Philip Rivers tore his ACL, just because that was the only time I've ever seen the Chargers actually get to the AFC Championship, one step away from the Super Bowl, I was just ecstatic just because I don't think anyone really expected us to win that game. We were underdogs, beating Peyton Manning, and just getting that close to the Super Bowl. Think about it. One game away from the Super Bowl, closest I've ever seen them go. And obviously we lost that game. Could have been different if we had LT. I don't think he really played that game. And Rivers was hurt. I cried my eyes out. I was younger when they lost that. They've never gotten that close again. So yeah, I got to say that. And I'm hoping that Justin Herbert, I believe in him. I think that he can take us there. He has what it takes. I think we got to surround him with the team to help all of us get there. I think we can do it. And yeah, I'm excited. I want to see us push and get that far again, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much excitement with Justin. It's like, seems like each year he gets better. And now the expectations on him are so high. Even when he has a really good year, people are like, I don't know about Justin. Like, how good is that to have to go from Phil to Justin? You know what I mean? Like we haven't had in your tenure as a Charger fan, haven't had to worry about our quarterback position.
Yeah, that's true. And how lucky are we? Like you said, go from Phillip Rivers, Hall of Fame quarterback. I think no doubt in my mind he deserves it.
Yeah.
And then just jump to Justin Herbert, who I think we could all agree is at least on pace easily for the Hall of Fame, breaking records. Could be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, in my opinion. I know it's very early to say that, but in my opinion, I think it really is about how we surround him with the supporting cast. Obviously, we know he's capable. It's how do we get him, the rest of the pieces, that obviously the receivers, the run game, the running backs, the offensive line, the defense, all of that. I think we just got to do the best we can to surround him,
Yeah. For sure, man. It's going to be exciting. We'll see what happens. We're going to add some players next week, and it's just an exciting time to be a Chargers fan. We're seeing players on grass again, which is always refreshing. So, Gabe, it was a pleasure having you on, man. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your story with us. And yeah, man, we look forward to interacting with you more. And man, let's have a fun season.
Yeah, let's go kick some ass. I want to say thank you so much for having me. Chargers Truther is what I go by. It's kind of maybe a little obnoxious, but trying to grab some attention that way. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No, for sure, man. Go follow him on Twitter, and a lot of fun Charger banter going on over there. So keep it up, brother, and we'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you. Cheers.
Take it easy.
Wait,
bye.
Can I chug it?
Do it. Let's go.
Cheers.
Pound it. Gabe. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Let's go. All right, dude. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there you go, folks. Gabe on our Fan Focus. Gabe. Chug a luck.
First ever chugger at the end of Fan Focus. So
I guess that's true.
You got that. You get a hanger star on that one.
Well,
I like that.
For future trivia questions, we'll know that Gabe was the first to chug a beer at the end of his Fan Focus. So, Gabe, thanks for coming on and chatting with my man Kev. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,
now it's time to go on to the next segment. You know him, you love him. It's the Craig Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh,
Craig Experience.
hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Less than 2 weeks away. Guess who's excited? For a couple reasons. Number one, I'm a draft nerd, football nerd overall. You guys know this about me. And this is one of my most favorite times of year. And also because draft season normally falls around my birthday. And yep, this year, day 3 of the draft, your boy turns 40. So I will be celebrating and watching on and off. But I'll probably be, tuned in as much as you would expect someone that should be celebrating their birthday to do so. But unfortunately, I will not be out in KC with the guys. I'm sure they will enjoy it. I will be elsewhere, and you'll see about that when the time rolls around. I'll let y'all in on that later on. But for now, what you've come here for, another edition from your guy, Craig in Texas, of the Craig experience. Okay. Now, being that this is the last TCE before draft week, I'm going to have to hit you guys off with a twofer, just to make sure we cover all the bases. Everybody out there knows for the last few weeks, I've been going over players at positions of need that I like personally, but also that fill in some gaps on the Chargers roster. And we're now getting into two positions that, I mean, most people know that the Chargers should address them, but there's a potential that it may happen earlier than what some may think. And I have a couple guys that I think fit really, really well in the event that they go that route. With that being said, let's hop into the first one, cornerback. Now, is corner really a need? Yeah, when you consider some of the things that are upcoming. Michael Davis is nearing the end of his deal, and then we don't know what or when J.C. Jackson is going to return. We don't know what version of J.C. is going to be back, but we see that he's making some really good progress here in the offseason, and we hope for the best there. But in roster construction, you kind of have to be ready to address things with a plan B. So it would be in the Chargers' best interest to maybe get a guy that can be ready to go in the event that JC isn't himself at some point next year. And I really just building out the roster as a whole. And we know that Brandon Staley loves his secondary guys, so it wouldn't be super shocked to see one come early. The name that I really like, it's probably going to be a second round guy. There's been some late first round buzz on him, but you know how that goes during draft season, especially when you look at traits and they start climbing up boards because they perform well at the Underwear Olympics and all that stuff there. But this guy's Julius Brents, Kansas State cornerback. And I got to watch a lot of Mr. Brents because he was teammates with the one Deuce Vaughn, who, if not everyone out there knows, was a high school teammate and buddy of my oldest son. So I watched a lot of Brents, and I really, really liked him. Just from a size profile, you're talking about a 6'3", near 200 pounder. He's got 34-inch arms, 9 5/8 hands, really explosive athlete. At the combine, he had over a 40-inch vert, think like 41.5, and 11.6 broad jump. So we're talking about an explosive athlete. He ran in the low 4.5s, but for a dude that size, that type of length, he makes up for not being an elite speed guy with the long arms and ability to kind of cover ground in long strides. So when you're thinking about like a Michael Davis, who was a 4'3" guy, and I still need to verify why that dude wears number 43. If somebody can find out why that is, because in my mind, I've created this scenario where it's because he ran a 4'3", which is why he wears a number. But I could be completely off there. That's just me and the stuff that I do. But that being said, some of the places where Brents can really help the defense is because he's a very willing tackler on the outside. And perimeter defense was a problem for the Chargers. Well, I mean, if we're talking against the run. Well, actually, perimeter and up the middle. But I digress. In this regard, you saw that Asante Samuel Jr. had to be taken off the field on early downs because he wasn't the best against the run on the outside. That's not a problem for Brents. He's a big physical corner who's not afraid to mix it up. So I really like that about him. So outside of just being a capable run defender, we're talking about a big body dude who can press up pretty much any receiver on the outside. And, if you've got somebody who's got a decent release package and some of the smaller dudes, they can give him some issues, but all of that can be worked on technique-wise. He's pretty much got all the tools to step in early on and be a contributor. Where do I see things going at the cornerback position as a whole? Well, again, not 100% certain. I think a lot of that depends on J.C. Jackson's recovery and the development of some younger guys. But the Chargers should definitely look to add some more to the room. And if, I'm a GM, I'm looking to add secondary guys every year. Just certain positions that you want to try to stack up at and get as much talent and see what you can develop as possible. And the skill positions are those areas. Cornerbacks, wide receivers, running backs. Hell, if you want to throw in even edge guys, stuff like that, which we're going to get to here in a second, I'm all on board for it. And so as I alluded to, we can move over to the next guy in the next position, which is edge. Duh. Derek Hall from Auburn. Derek Hall is an interesting player, whereas you've heard some late first round buzz on him too, but I'm pretty sure he'll end up being more of a second round guy unless there's some sort of crazy run on edges in the first round, and you never really know what can happen in the league. Stuff can get really wild and wacky on that first night of the draft, so we'll see. But I pretty much feel like he's one of those dudes that could fall into the early to mid second round, and if that's the case and the Chargers stick and stay where they are, then they probably don't get a shot at him in the second. But again, you never know. And there has been talk about the Chargers potentially trading back. So, hey, who knows? We'll see. But one of the reasons why I really like Derek Hall, well, even before that, here's the thing. Who are your edge defenders? Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. What do we know about him? And Khalil was 32 years old. And though he played well last year, he's nearing the twilight of his career. Probably not the best idea to just expect for him to go out there and not have any fall off next season. But you're looking at like what the Chargers are paying guys going in the next few years, Justin Herbert's contract upcoming, and you're going to have to make some maneuvers on the roster as far as your cap is concerned. And you probably need to have the next guy up at bat. I know a lot of people out there thinking Chris Rump, but there are some issues there. And though Chris Rump is a great guy, and he has some ability, and we've seen him flash in spurts, he's not necessarily what you're looking for as a total package on the edge. Where Joey Bosa is concerned, well, Joey's kind of been nicked up here and there pretty consistently over the years. We saw him out for the majority of last season, and without him on the field, teams were able to key on Mac, and pass rush was pretty much non-existent for long periods of time. Teams kind of had their way in the passing game in that regard, and on the edges against the run as well. So the other thing about Joey is he kind of has a tendency to make some sort of kind of boneheaded decisions in big moments, and he can allow his aggressiveness to get the best of him or his emotions. Love Joey as a player, one of the top guys in the league still. I think there's more than a couple years left of top level play from him. But again, you want to cover all your bases and make sure you have the proper depth. Now, what Hall offers you is an explosive athlete off the edge in multiple ways. I mean, we're talking about another fast edge guy who ran in the 4.5s, tested well in explosives like the broad jump. He had a 10.7. He's also got really long freaking arms at 34.5 inches. So you're thinking about what he's able to do on the edge. Day one, well, right out of the wrapper, the dude is a really good run defender. We're talking about somebody who can set the edge, so you're not giving up anything in that regard when one of your top two guys are off of the field. Can't necessarily say that about Chris Rump, but he is more of your power with speed rusher, whereas Rump is more of a slithery, guy who has to win with quickness, things of that nature. So it's a nice contrast from Rump. And though he's not, and I'm talking about Hall here, though he's not the most technically refined guy at this point, he has the opportunity to build on that while he plays behind Mack and Bosa, but he can still be in the mix there. He's really still an explosive guy off the edge who will learn and develop his skill set behind the two top guys who he can learn from, by the way. But again, with him on the field, you're still going to be able to generate some pressure, and you won't sacrifice getting gashed on the edges of your defense against the run. So really love that about him. And another reason to build behind what you already have. Like, if you have a strength, why not make it stronger? I mean, it's a strength provided no one gets injured, but that's not necessarily how the Chargers work. All of us as fans know that. So Hall is going to be a primary target for me there in the second round if he's still hanging around. And again, just kind of based on what the Chargers elect to do. We never know. But hey, that's it for me. I appreciate you guys for joining and listening to me give my opinion, because I'm just a dude, somebody who loves the game, who loves and respects y'all for listening to me, week in and week out. And whether you value my opinion or not, again, still, thanks for coming. Until the next one, y'all know who it is, Mr. TOP_FLYT3 on Twitter. You can also catch me as a co-host over on the Lightning Round podcast as well if you want to see some more of me. And yo, fellas, wish I could be out in KC with you in less than 2 weeks. I'm sure it would be a great time. I'd really like to find that guy who drove by with the taser out. I've never quite gotten over that, but one day. You're still on my list, buddy. Anywho, y'all take it easy. Catch y'all on the next one. Okay? Love you, bye.
I love you, Craig. Love you.
Love you, Craig.
Honestly, I think we need to make it a yearly thing where you come to Kansas City and we spend the entire time before the game looking for him. I don't remember what he looks like. But let's have a peek. Let's go looking.
You're just constantly like holding a photo, and you're just like,
yeah,
that's not the guy.
That's not it. You're just like walking around with the taser. Nope, not you. No, but if you didn't hear that story, it's pretty crazy. We were walking out of that last Chiefs game, and somebody drove by and set up a taser right by him and made him like fall over, and it was not good. But we're going to find a way we're going to go back to another Chiefs game with him, and it's going to be a different outcome. I know it.
Yes. And if there's one thing that the Duggan brothers have that's better that I don't, besides good looks and four boys and incredible physiques, it's that they got to hang with Craig.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And it's one of life's biggest regrets. So
we're going to make it happen
Craig,
again. It's going to happen.
Yes, dude. I can't wait to see you again. And thank you again for another awesome Craig experience. Another look into some players that I didn't know anything about. And now I've got some names to look forward to when it gets down to rounds 2 and 3. So, Craig, thank you again. And I'm also curious. He really teased like, I'm not going to be in Kansas City, but
where is this going to be?
I'm going to be somewhere.
The birthday boy.
Yeah.
The big 4-0.
I can't wait to see the surprise there, Craig.
Yeah. And we'll have fun, dude, at your birthday party. And yeah, man, let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's get some draft picks.
Let's give Craig an early birthday gift, please.
Let's get Deuce Vaughn, because he has so much insight. Who knows? Maybe he has some connections to Deuce Vaughn. Get his son to hook him up. Get him over here on the Charger Chat.
Let's find out. All right, Craig, thank you again. And
Thanks,
now it's time to go on to the next segment. It's time for Ask Boltfam.
Shit.
Yeah.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam. And before we get to all the names and all the questions, I need to shout out Mr. Danny Lags, who in previous weeks has been asking us questions about who would win, and somehow we can't all come to a frickin' agreement on who would be the winner in these made-up fights. We've had Vikings and Sharks and saber-toothed tigers and just a pleasant and Spartans and ninjas and samurais. And so without Kyle here, Danny, we want to make sure that we do it right. So we will get to your scenario on the next episode when all three of us are able to.
And the streak's not technically dead, okay? It's not the I know you were on the streak. We're going to consider this a question. Double up next week. We'll hit them back to back.
Please. Okay? We need to divide this podcast with every question you ask. So
I love it.
So we'll get it on the next one, but I needed to shout you out. So let's go to our first question. It's from Gavin Gibson.
Gavin,
who asked the question. Hello, my Bolt brothers from other mothers. I'm heading over to Omaha, Nebraska on the 25th, and my wife told me to get stuff sorted for my luggage. Now, my wife, though I love her dearly, has one major flaw. She doesn't like the NFL or the Chargers. It's been hard, but I managed to push through. Well, my darling beloved said to me that I had to pack plain t-shirts. When she asked me if I had anything in my drawer that wasn't Chargers related, I proudly said no as I pulled my little Herbie t-shirt out to wear for the day. She needs to come to grips with the fact that Chargers aren't just a team, they are a lifestyle. Now for the $1 million question.
Because the draft will be on when I'm over, what Chargers jersey should I take over? I have Eckler Powder Blue, Bosa 99 in Navy, LT White, and my personal favorite, Big Papa Phil in Navy. Can't wait to see who we get in the draft. As always, guys, bolt up. Love you. Bye.
Well, I think you just answered your question because your personal favorite feels like a good choice.
It feels like a really good choice.
You feel good, you look good, you pick good. That's how the draft
retro.
works. It's how the draft works. So look good and we'll pick good. That's the key to that.
Yeah, definitely got to go with Big Papa Phil. And
it's so true.
Sorry, Gavin's wife.
But it's so true. I was like going through my drawer the other day and like I have like all my shit is Chargers t-shirts. Yeah. I have like a couple other things that they're not fun to wear or comfortable. All my comfortable shit is Charger shit. And I wear it all the time. I'm sure everyone around this town just knows me by now as like the Charger dad or that asshole or something like that. Because it's
that dude.
It might seem aggressive how much I wear this shit. It's not. It's just necessity because it's all I have. It's just what I have.
It is funny. I can recall prior to us doing the podcast, I'll say I had maybe 3, maybe 4 t-shirts and maybe like a couple of Phil jerseys, you know?
Yeah, respectable.
I've probably got like 6 jerseys now, and like there's a whole section of my closet that's just like, this is just all Chargers stuff that
I have exotic. I got a professional like collared, like a really nice dress shirt that has the Charger logo on it. And I got that from Adam for Christmas. And literally all occasions I'm wearing Chargers shit. Like I'm on the golf course, I have a golf shirt. I got that. I got jackets. I got so much shit. And I'm with you on that. I don't know how my wife feels about it. I don't think she hates it as much as your wife seems to hate it, but there might be some resentment there with how much I love my team.
Everybody needs to come to grips with it. We've got Chargers wardrobe.
It's a lifestyle, okay?
That's right.
Get over it.
All right.
But travel safe, Gavin. Travel safe.
Yes.
And
travel safe. Have a good time, and be sure to pack Big Papa Phil in that suitcase.
Put them in there. Well, you need 3. There's 3 days of draft, so you could put all 3 of them on. One point in time.
Yeah. Why not all of them, Gavin? I mean,
hey,
is there not enough room for one more shirt? Or one more jersey? Come on. And
you could wear a Charger shirt underneath the jersey. Like, let's double down. And let's be honest, you probably have Charger socks and underoos. We'll call it what it is. A reality.
Call it a hunch.
Yeah.
Gavin.
So, get on it, Gavin.
All right. Gavin, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on down to Austin Whiteside, who asked the question. 3, 2, 1.
Certified fresh.
What's up, guys? Big fan of Charger Chat. Just wanted to say this show is amazing. It made this past season so much better listening and laughing. Really appreciate what you guys do. I know everyone wants Bijan or Deuce Vaughn, but I was watching Kendra Miller from TCU. Guy's an absolute stud. You guys should give him a watch. My question is, if you've seen the second Avatar, which one is your favorite, 1 or 2, and why?
Thank you, first of all. Appreciate the kind words.
Really appreciate that.
We're just having a good old time here. We're just trying to have fun.
Yeah. Trying to make each other laugh and enjoy the Chargers.
Exactly. Make the off season go by a little faster with
yes.
With some funnies. But Kendra Miller, I did a little bit of research on him, and he seems like a good late, maybe day 3 pick that could be a special teams guy, maybe a backup. I'm not sure if he's like starting caliber, but it's cool to see what everyone's, looking at. There's so many guys in this draft that we could get. It'll just kind of depend on how those first few rounds fall, but definitely an interesting choice.
Yeah. It's a name that we haven't heard yet. So somebody to keep an eye on. And then as far as Avatar 1 or 2, pretty sure I know your answer.
Yeah. The second one hit me right in the feels. The old, Adam and I saw it with my 7-year-old, and he loved it. But like all that father-son stuff was like,
I just kept hearing Kevin go,
oh, there's my big boy.
Special boys. That's the way of water.
Yeah, the way of water. The first one's great too, but I like the second one. I like the second one.
I enjoyed the first a lot more. The second one, nothing against those father-son moments. Those were certainly obviously the heart of the entirety of the movie. The writing and the story, it just felt, the second one just kind of felt like, especially like at the beginning, it just kind of felt like, what is happening here? Like, what are we doing? Like the story, at least at the first one, while it was basic, it was at least, I don't want to say feasible, but it was, I don't know. I like the first one better. What do you want from me?
No, I'm with you. I still have the biggest problem I have with that movie is that it's called Unobtainium. I love that you called what I said. It's just
the dumbest name in the world.
Just a choice, you know?
Yeah.
Just a choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
For sure. Really tells you what it is. All right. There you go. Austin Whiteside, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Chad Davis.
Certified fresh.
Ooh, who asked the question?
I just started listening for the last few months and love how positive you guys are. I'm usually pretty realistic or pessimistic with my cheering, and it's so nice to hear you guys just completely fan out how we're supposed to. Thank you guys for doing this. Since I'm new, how and why did you guys start in San Diego and move so far away to Missouri? Work or something? FTRFL. Side note, I got a free round of golf today for roasting a Raider fan in the pro shop.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
Golf clap for Chad
Congratulations
Davis.
to you. Whoever, I want to know what this golf course is so I can go there because they seem like Raider haters and I'm all about that shit.
It's the golf place to go to.
It's the golf place
that all Chargers and fan tours.
Congrats on that, though.
I want to know what the roast was. I want to know what he said.
Yeah, what did you say?
What'd you say, Chad?
Hey,
you got to tell us.
We got to wait a whole week to know what that is. Please let us know what the roast was.
I want to know it. But yeah, as far as why did we leave San Diego, and I understand the question. San Diego is the place to be in California for sure. We grew up there and a lot of good memories.
I was actually, dude, I lived in San Diego till I was 17, and then I haven't lived in San Diego since. I was up in LA for a long time, and then you hit the nail on the head. Came out here for work to help my buddy build a film studio, and I was gonna be out here for a little bit, and then a little bit turned into a lot of it, and things just kept going, and I kept working and traveling for work.
Roots started taking hold,
started making lots of children, and it's just kind of this is where I live now. And then I somehow talked Mr. Adam Wolldog Woolley into joining me.
He dangled a pretty decent sized carrot, and I just followed like the dumbass that I am. So.
Welcome, dumbass.
No, I'm happy to be here. I haven't even been here a full year yet. I prior to that, I was in Boise, Idaho, so not that much better. I still left California for sure, but that's because my folks moved to Boise, Idaho, and decided to change direction, start a new chapter in the great state of Missouri, in a little town called Columbia. So, yeah. Well, there you go, Chad. Please let us know what the roast is. That's all we snicker, and I mean that's just
because that's like probably
that fuels our soul.
Depending on the course, that's like a $50 roast. Like,
oh yeah,
that's
easily.
A round of golf is not cheap, so
yeah,
that must have been a really good roast.
Those golf places can be pretty expensive.
Yeah,
so.
There's monies at the golf places.
Chad Davis. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Athir Kadir.
Athir,
who asked the question. My boy Wolldog, this is my question, baby. You're picking at 21. You have Smith and Flowers, baby. Who are you taking? Remember, before you answer, we're in a win-now situation. Mine, give me Nolan Smith Edge, baby. Love you, bye. Number 10 MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Let's go, Boltfam 23, baby. Baby!
Love it. Where you go? This is good. This is directly to the Wolldog himself.
Well, I think it is for all of us, but yes, he did address me, Athir, and I take that challenge, and I would have to say that, yeah, I would take Nolan Smith over Flowers at this point. Now, I mean, really the only thing now at wide receiver that is a question mark isn't necessarily the speedy side of things, but who is going to be the returner? Now, that doesn't necessarily need to be spent on a first-round person, but it is something that is going to need to be addressed at some point this offseason of who's going to be the returner. So while Flowers, I think it was Craig that talked about Flowers being a possible return guy. Yeah. I kind of think now that maybe because he made mention this is a win now mode, could Flowers be the edge to get the Chargers all the way to the end? Maybe. Could Nolan Smith be that guy? That feels a little bit more solid. That feels a little bit more like, okay, this is a really good player at a position that isn't necessarily in need, but given how ferocious these guys can play, and I mean, they're constantly getting hit every single game, I think it's a lot more likely for some of these guys to get hurt and to have someone like Nolan Smith come up and make some pretty big plays. Although saying that makes me then think like, it kind of makes me think that maybe Kyle Van Noy wouldn't be coming back next year. So
that doesn't necessarily mean that.
I know it's not exactly that, but it would be another, like, I don't want to say nail in the coffin, but like it would be a arguing point for why would you bring him back after that. So
put him back more in the stand-up linebacker that he was originally brought in to do, which he's done his whole career.
Yep.
So I don't think it's necessarily a huge deal, but I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Like, this is one of those weird drafts where I'm not going to be like up in arms unless it's something. I just really, there's so many picks, there's so many guys that I'd be like, okay, great, that's that's going to help us. I think Zay Flowers helps for sure. That gives you the speed, it gives you that. And when it comes to those premier positions where when you have to pay the big money, that's the edge guys. That's the quarterbacks. That's those, getting after the quarterback or playing quarterback. And if you can get one of those top guys on a rookie deal that can deliver, production that you expect from a first rounder, I think I would probably rather go edge there and then maybe hold off and go after a second or third round wide receiver in that situation.
Yeah, I think that's also a great point that, who's going to demand a bigger contract when it comes time to pay them, and who can you, I don't want to say take advantage of, but basically utilize to the best of your ability on a rookie contract. And I think edge is that position.
It's going to be Justin Herbert, and it's going to be our two edge rushers. Those are the highest paid. Those are the highest contracts we're going to have as soon as Justin gets all worked out. So that's it.
Potentially the wide receivers as well. Like
they're close, but they're not at the edge level. Like those guys are just getting paid more. Wide receivers are not getting paid at the level of the edge and quarterback.
Right. So, all right, there you go, Athir. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Tom Telesco's burner account.
TTPA.
Who asked the question? Okay, so Bijan Robinson plus the top edge rushes are out of the pool. All tight ends are still available. Who do y'all choose? Michael Mayers is the guy for me. What about you fools? I hope we go RB early. Charbonnet in round number 2. There's speed at wide receiver. No need to reach in round 1. Flowers and Addison pretty smooth, but not worth reaching a ton. Ooh. Let's get big in the middle. Mozzie Smith, a D tackle. Yeah, I need that, son. Maybe trade back Tommy T and get 2 second-round young guns. The biggest moves this offseason, we're getting a new OC and athletic trainer for me. More touchdowns, balanced offense, and I bet you less injuries. I'm excited for the draft now. Let's get pumped for our team in 2023. Peace out, f***ers.
Peace out. Just the
deuces.
Peace out. That was good, dude. TTBA coming with some rhymes.
Yeah, no, that was a good one.
That was very good. So there's a question definitely in there.
There is a question. Michael Mayers is the guy.
All
for
tight
him.
ends are still available. Who do y'all choose? Michael Mayer. We have a lot of receiving, even though is it Dalton? Could be good. Could be good. But he feels like
could be good.
Could be good.
Hey.
But I just want I want an all around tight end. I want a Hunter Henry back, and Hunter Henry did everything great, and that's what Michael Mayer is. I want to get that running tight end back because we don't really have that right now.
Yeah.
Even the Trey McKitty, who we were supposed to bring in to be a blocking tight end, is not playing well. He's not blocking well. So give me Michael Mayer, please.
I would agree. I mean, I can understand the appeal of like Darnell Washington. Obviously, the guy had a great underwear Olympic. I can't think of what it was called.
That's what it's called.
Okay, he had a great underwear Olympic. Took home the gold and all of that. But
the golden underwear,
the golden underoos. But I think if it's a first round, you got to go with the first round talent. And while Darnell Washington could be that guy, I think you haven't seen enough in the actual playing of the game versus lifting weights and pushing and stuff like that. So
yeah, just didn't get enough playing time because he was splitting so much being from that school.
So it could be that guy, but I think if you want to go with the sure fit, Michael Mayer all the way.
Yeah, that's my tight end.
So there you go. Tom Telesco's burner account. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Mr. Pekar, who asked the question.
As I sit here on my couch, drinking my tears, reminiscing on last week's bad choices, I have come to terms with the fact that frying bacon naked is not a good choice. In fact, though the thought is frankly inconceivable. Would it also be inconceivable to say that we are now steer clear from the round one speedy wide receiver that all the compadres want in the draft, especially with the signing of my boy Jalen Guyton? If I am wrong, please forgive me, El Guapo. I know that I, Mr. Pekar, do not have your superior intellect and education. FTR, beat the frick up. K-love you, bye.
I'd say we both went to the same school of knowledge when it comes to this stuff, Mr. Pekar.
Mr. Pekar. Yes. I don't know that you necessarily steer clear because at the same time, there's other wide receivers that we're talking about that are ranked higher than Zay Flowers. And if some of those guys drop, it's hard to say. I mean, when you're pick 21, there's going to be somebody that's going to be sitting there that you're going, how did they get to 21?
Yeah.
And if hopefully it's not a quarterback because that's not a position we need. But if it is, then you could trade back. You can get some extra picks potentially. So
yeah.
I wouldn't say that you would completely scratch it off the list, but it isn't that position, or it isn't the position with the talents that we've been craving, which is somebody that can get downfield quickly and be open for Justin Herbert in a way that none of the other wide receivers have been able to do as far as getting those big, deep balls. So,
and I think an interesting way, for at least that I look at it, is for wide receivers, they're so reliant on the quarterback, right? So you have an amazing quarterback. You don't need to have. It's great to have all of the first round wide receiver, talent and all that stuff, but they're there because of the general population watch college football, and they're like, let's project where this could be. I'm very happy taking a mid round wide receiver, a la Keenan Allen, who we got in the third round.
Sure.
Something like that he can make these guys better. When it comes to some of these other skill positions that need to block, that are fully responsible, are reliant on Justin, those are the guys I feel like I want to get earlier on. It's like protect Justin, get after the other quarterback, or help our run game. Because those are the three things that I'm looking for this year. So I think maybe that's a different way to look at it, maybe, where it's maybe you get one of these top end wide receivers when you don't have the best quarterback, and it's not as important. So I don't know. That's just how I feel. And we've been talking about this for months now, and I just am not in the wide receiver first round mentality. I haven't been yet so far.
I mean, and I get what you're saying. And to me, it becomes a question of like, okay, yes, do you need a wide receiver that has all the best talents to make for Justin Herbert to work with them? No, Justin Herbert can, as long as you can get open and
he'll throw you open too. You just got to be able to catch the freaking ball.
He'll find the smallest hole to get it to you. And as long as you're ready to catch it from there, you're going to look great.
Oh yeah.
That being said, if you had a wide receiver that had a round one talent that Justin Herbert doesn't necessarily have to make look good, but could be that much more complimentary to Justin Herbert. I'm not saying that I necessarily want this, but how exciting could that be to have a round one talent wide receiver with Justin Herbert, and not just because Mike Williams was also a round one.
Oh, he was
receiver.
early round.
And he's been great when we've had him because he's great at catching those jump, 50-50 balls, makes him more like 80-30. And so if you had that round one speedy.
Wait, I got to check your math on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets 110%.
Carry the one.
110. We played 110% on this team.
But to have somebody that has the abilities that we're looking for in that speedy wide receiver as a round one talent could be really exciting. So if round one comes around and they do happen to announce a wide receiver, I'm going to be psyched. I'm going to be excited. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I'm not going to be shitty about any picks this year because I've done it in past and I'm not good at it.
It'll come back to haunt you.
It bites me right in the ass. Yeah, right in the ass. So
all right,
it's all going to be good. I just have preferences that I think
I'm with you. Yeah,
better,
preferences, and I'm with you. I would rather not see a wide receiver in the first round. I'd rather see somebody in another position that we could instantly make better. And now that Jalen Guyton is coming back, assuming that he's fully healthy, assuming that he still has that speed, which I don't know why they would bring him back or re-sign him if he didn't.
Yeah,
I think we should be good to go. So, Mr. Petcar, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Big Daddy Ruiz, who asked the question. What's up, amigos? I just want to start by letting it be known my top 3 Chargers podcast. Number 3, The Director. Number 2, Chargers Weekly. And my number 1, the Chargers Chat. The reason you guys are my favorite is because of the connection I have with your chat. I hear Kev giving his opinion on situations, and I'm over here thinking to myself, this is a man that they should be building monuments of or naming streets after him. One can even argue making him the 2023 Chargers Fan of the Year. He's got me over here saying, I was just thinking the same thing. And then the coach gives his expert opinion, and I realize me and Kev don't know shit. No offense, Kev. But I'm also proud to admit how wrong I was about drafting Herbert. I also wanted Tua and Simmons over Jay Herbo. Oh, and I can't forget man's best friend, Mr. Motherfucking Bulldog. He's the heart of the chat. Not sure if I'm correct, but he might be the only one with perfect attendance. I've never seen him miss. Anyways, enough with the kissing ass. Here's my question. With the Chargers re-signing Guyton, would you still pick a speedy wide receiver with the first pick? Personally, I prefer tight end, running back, only if it's Robinson, and then wide receiver. But what do you guys think? Thanks, and K-love you, bye. Oh boy, he built you up. He was like, oh, Kevin, God's gift to mankind.
And him and I held hands and got slammed by coach. That's sneaky
But it's fine. He went down with you. It was the band played on as that ship sank.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you. We really
appreciate you.
All those really kind words, man. You're the man. Thank you.
That was very sweet of you. And I know this was kind of similar to the previous question, but as far as what other areas or positions that we could think of, I mean, he mentions tight end and running back. The running back thing, I mean, we heard it from Gabe earlier that it only becomes, I think like we've been talking about with wide receivers, like you can get a good wide receiver in later rounds. And I think the same could be said for running back. Like, yes, is Bijan Robinson a hell of a runner? Absolutely. Can't deny that. Has there been a lot of success with round one running backs?
Not really.
Not especially not with the Chargers.
Let's just all agree on this. Our best running back was our number 1 running back, LaDainian Tomlinson, first round running back.
Yes.
So it's hard. You can't deny the fact that LT is LT and he was a first round guy.
Absolutely.
It's just the game's a little different now. I don't know. Our team is fully. It's a committee. This is a committee type offense, and you saw what Kellen did over there with Pollard and with Zeke.
Right.
There wasn't a bell cow back. They were in and out, keeping the defense on their toes. So going Bijan, like the amount of money you're going to pay him, he's got to be playing. He's got to be a 3-down back if you're going to draft him that early in the first round.
Right.
And then if you're not getting your value from that. So I wouldn't be mad at it. He's an amazing talent, but I think there are other positions that, just need to level up, just need to level up, just to have that mushroom.
Oh yeah.
Mario it up, and great movie, by the way. Woohoo! Just level up a little bit. I think the tight end position is kind of where I want to level up.
Yeah, I would agree.
Especially in the blocking department, because if you get a good blocking tight end and you get a good scheme, it's just going to be awesome for whatever running back is on our team, and it's going to be a committee. So that's kind of how I feel about the running back position this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. So there you go. Big Daddy Ruiz, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to High Voltage 94.
Certified Fresh.
Who asked the question?
Hello, guys. Fair warning. A few questions I have. Ready? 1. Guests on the show like Verhoko and others y'all have had. But for each of you, who would you like to have on your podcast besides Justin Herbert? Chris Hayre, Haley Elwood, Keenan Allen, LT, Dan Fouts, and Ian Eagle. I'd like to see. 2. Early it is, but with Chargers games to go see in person this year, would you like? Lambeau and at Kansas City this year, I would like to go to. 3. Lastly, offensive players this first round. I know everyone is raving about wanting to draft, but do you? Is there any off or defensive players that we need or we should look at? Find a nice guy for middle linebackers position. My opinion. FTR, FTC, and FTB. K, love you. Bye.
Worst Yoda ever.
Hey,
Hey.
you tried hard. Okay.
Tried, I did.
I love it.
All right.
Guests on the show. We've had Chris Hayre twice. He's amazing.
Yeah,
and
Chris Hayre's
we'll
awesome.
have him on again for sure. But I love talking to everyone at the Chargers, whoever will come on. Haley, we still would love to have her on, but
That would be awesome.
there's
if we can
some
get her
like
on.
guys from, we had, Sean Merriman, which he's amazing. He's been on a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
There's still there's a couple, it's Phil, there's a combo, Phil and Antonio Gates.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love LT too, but Phil and Antonio Gates would be just mind blowing.
Would you have them on at the same time?
I don't think I could handle that. I don't think my brain could handle that.
You would just sit there and be like,
I'm just
just watch them talk to each other.
you just keep looking back and forth and not. I formulated a
How is this happening?
question.
Yeah.
What
multiverse have I entered where I got to be sitting here with these two guys?
Yeah, not when I belong in. That's for sure. But any and all, we want to have people on. We're a different show. We're not journalists. We just are crazy fans, and I ask stupid questions. So I want to.
You ask good questions.
No, but stupid and trying to have fun and make them laugh. I'm trying to make
You're
them
not going
laugh.
all right, a train left Pittsburgh and going 30 miles an hour.
Yeah. Tell me about your contract and how much do you hate this?
Right.
So any and all would be amazing, honestly.
Yeah. I think the guy that I would love to see on and would bring the same amount of positivity as Justin Herbert is Brandon Staley. I think you sitting down to talk with Staley, I think would be one of the best interviews ever.
I need Kyle there with me for sure, so he could throw in some real questions to catch him off. Kyle and I could do 1-2 punch where I'll get in there with the funny shit, and then Kyle will come in over the top, top ropes, Nacho Libre style, and just body slam him with the real football question.
I would love that.
That'd be pretty cool.
All right, Charger games to go see in person this year. He mentions Lambeau and Kansas City. I think those are two wild games to go to.
We've done that every year so far, so I think that's probably in the cards.
It's kind of an in.
Yeah, we kind of do that every year. But Lambeau, 100%.
Yeah,
I've never seen the Chargers play at Lambeau, so I've been there for my wife. She's a diehard Packer fan, so I've been there for her in support of her for other games, and it's pretty rad there.
You've never been there in rivalry of her or against her?
No, I've never.
Would
tried
that
to
be a
beat her
really
ass.
good time?
No.
How do you foresee that going down?
pretty great. She's awesome.
Pretty great.
She's pretty great. I think she's in like a weird place right now because she loved Aaron Rodgers and he's kind of not on the team anymore. So
that's
this
kinda sticky.
of any of the years to like go with my wife and enjoy the game. And if the Chargers won, this could be an okay year to do that.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
Josie's awesome. I got to get her on the podcast at some point so everyone can like meet her because she's pretty cool. You know all about her.
she's
We used to be our roommate.
We had her on one of the early
a long
shows.
time
Yeah.
ago. It's time for a reprieve. We need to do it again.
She needs to come back for sure. And then offensive players this first round, and everyone's reading, but is there any defensive players that we should need or should look at? Middle linebacker. I feel like we talked about getting a middle linebacker in the later rounds as well.
It feels
for
kinda,
that position.
With the way we're set up right now, we don't need a starter right off the bat. You could bring in somebody that needs a little bit of, I don't want to say development because I don't want to develop anyone right now.
No, we can't.
I want somebody that can come in and
players.
Contribute, but I'm not sure if first round is there. I think edges, like if Nolan Smith is there, that's where I would go on the defensive line.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like, oh wow, how did he land at 21?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, that's kind of my defensive guy because I want to get that edge going. And then after that, I want tight end. If he's not there, I want Mayer.
I've heard safety. I've heard I can't
Branch.
think of, I've heard his name get tossed around as well. And I mean, when you think about the safety position right now, obviously you've got Derwin James sitting up there, but with Nasir Adderley hanging up the cleats, the next one down the line is Alohi Gilman, which looking back at that Miami game, Alohi played really, really well. So if he can continue to produce at that same level, I'm not worried about it. But if you want somebody that could be a potential game changer for that position, that could potentially be an upgrade, I wouldn't hate that pick either if he happens to fall to 21.
It's kind of crazy too, because we're talking about a lot of these guys that are like second, third round guys that would make an immediate impact on our team. And he's one of those guys that projected to go like early, mid kind of area, second round. There really is like, as long as we don't fully trade out of the first round and we go to like 24 or something and get an extra third round pick or something like that. Like, God, that would be such the move if we could do that. So
that'd be pretty rad.
I could see that going in a lot of good directions for us. Just that one extra, top three round pick. You know what I mean? Like have two of those guys. You can pick out 4 players in the top first 3 rounds. So that's a different kind of thing if you can get them.
All right. Well, there you go. High Voltage 94. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Hangry Seth, who asked the question.
Y'all see Justin out there fishing? Can't stop the Sheldon High School Fishing Club president, you hear? Now, I'm not one to follow rumors, but I heard the other day linking L.A. to Jordan Addison. What's your take on a possible first on Addison and maybe second on Darnell Washington? Kid, love you, bye.
I heard this too. It was our wide receiver coach. Like he basically, Addison's been following him around college football essentially.
Right.
So no, it's interesting insight.
There is a connection for sure.
There's a connection and he loves the coach. He's supposed to be a first round wide receiver. It's just how you feel about the wide receiver position.
Right.
Does Addison and Darnell Washington, if he's available in the second when we pick without trading up, if he's there, sure. I wouldn't be mad at it. It could be a cool combo. I just don't. You're asking for a lot of like, God, I hope he falls, or I hope this works out in our favor, and that's not as it's easier to bank on that. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So but I could see that being fun, especially a USC guy. He's fast as shit, and he's a great wide receiver. So it'd be a great addition.
Yeah, I think I saw the other day too that the Chargers, he did visit with the Chargers as far as, all of that pre-draftness where players go and visit with teams and stuff like that. So,
well, if you remember, I don't know if you were like, we've done this a lot of drafts now. There have been multiple times where we interview our first round pick and they say they have never talked to the Chargers before.
Yeah.
They have done that so many times. I feel like whoever they bring in for an interview, if it's like a first or second round pick, they're not getting drafted. Right. I just don't like, that's just how they go. Like they're so like cloak and dagger, very, ninja Tommy T to like not even talk to them. You know what I mean?
So yeah, we can certainly connect the dots. But like Kevin just said, in previous years, we thought we connected dots and there was a whole nother book sitting off to the side.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens come draft day, Hangry Steph. But thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Rebolted 2006, who asked the question. My initial draft night idea was tight end, because what have we had since Gates and a wounded Hunter Henry, right? But looking at this wide receiver room scares me. You have our top 2 wide receivers, who one is past 30 coming off an injury and has his own injury history. Big Mike is the man healthy, but the dude has injury issues as well. And I find myself always holding my breath every contested or leaping catches because I never know if he's going to get up off the ground healthy. Those 2 go down again, and it's a scary right now. Not sold on Josh Palmer at all. And then there's no one behind him with Bandy off in the XFL. Jalen Guyton is coming off an ACL tear and, in my opinion, just another Travis Benjamin. And now DeAndre is gone. Not like that was a great combo anyway. Hoping in Doss and Hightower? With that being said, show me Quentin Johnston or Zay Flower. What say you, Charger Chat? Wide receiver or bust at this point for this season and the future. We can get a tight end later on in the draft, or Gerald Everett can hold it down one more year. Now breathe in and out.
Yeah, man, it's
good points.
No,
I mean,
we've not had a healthy wide receiving core like in a long time throughout an entire year.
It's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
So I get where you're I'm picking up what you're putting down, big dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel
for
ya.
sure.
I feel you, but I just don't know if those are the guys. I don't know if that's the move when I really think Justin can do a lot more with less.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean he should have undrafted free agents throwing to, like, Guyton was and is. I think you could still there's guys in that second and third round. Like maybe Mims could be a great solution for this while you're still getting other places of need.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong, and I am most of the time. I'm going to be honest.
Well, I think the funny thing about all of the arguments about, like, oh, you can get a tight end in later rounds. Oh, you can get wide receivers in later rounds. Like there's always going to be talent in later rounds. It's like, we don't know. Like we all thought, I think last season that, like, oh, there'll be a wide receiver in the second round.
Yeah.
And then, like, first round, there was like 10 wide receivers taken. It was just like, holy shit. Like, what is happening here? Like,
yeah, nobody
foresaw that many wide receivers going in the first round. So it really is just going to be interesting to see what happens on draft day, because of anything and everything can happen. And being as low as 21, nothing is a guarantee in the first round. It's just, hey man, let's just wait and see. Let's see what kind of goodies we can, take advantage of, or vulture, and let me snatch this up since you fuckers didn't pick it up. It's ours now.
Yeah.
Snooze, you lose.
It's ours now.
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to see, because I mean, you can make the argument that Gerald Everett had a year with Justin Herbert. Now he's got at least a little bit of a rapport with Justin Herbert and could potentially be better next year. But I don't know. I don't know.
And it's
I'm with you.
Also, we're basing a lot of our needs right now on our last offense, right? Our inability
run by different.
And a lot of that was play calling too, in a lot of ways. So you kind of, it's hard as we're all fans, right? So it's hard for you to kind of like step out of not watching any Charger games last year and like really have an outside opinion on what we really need with this new offense that could be coming in. You always need speed. You always need to take the top off. I get it. 100% get it.
Yep.
But that doesn't need to be a first round guy. Tyreek Hill was like a mid-round pick. You just got to find him. You got to do your research, which we have not done. Just going to be honest. We do not have the full breakdown.
We have not done. No.
Haven't done it. There's other podcasts that are much better at that than us. But I know that there's some guys later in the rounds that could be probably just as efficient with Justin Herbert as some of these guys in the early rounds. So, yeah, I don't want a wide receiver in the first round. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
All right. That's all right. Rebolted 2006. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Boltville 714, who asked the question. In a recent episode, I heard a pretty good Morgan Freeman impression by Kevin. My question is, can he please read this poem in his Freeman voice? It's called To Kill a Mocking Draft. No pressure. I'll sign up to your Patreon if he's a man enough to do it, of course.
Whoa. So what the hell is in this thing?
Wrote a little ditty.
Well, first of all, I don't remember what episode you heard because I do a Sling Blade. Friend tighter. Mm-hmm.
It's your classic Morgan Freeman, Kevin.
That's that's my Morgan Freeman.
Every episode.
I don't have a Morgan Freeman. Andy Dufresne. Is that what it has? How do you get into your Morgan Freeman?
It's always Andy Dufresne. Andy Dufresne crawled through a river of shit.
Okay. Well, and do not sign up for our Patreon because of this. This isn't a gauntlet. This is the kindness of my heart fucking up an impression. So I'll do it. And I better not see your fucking name on our Patreon after this. Okay. Got me. The gauntlet is now on you, pal. Boltville 714. Okay.
All right. Here's Kevin taking the spotlight.
This. I'm not good at this at all. Andy Dufresne. Oh, yes. Mock draft 169.5. Because we really care and needed another one, of course. I'm already off the rails. It's already fucking shit. I suppose you really think we've given a thunder about your thoughts and hopes. But truthfully and respectfully, we don't. Friend fraud tighter. Who you want, who you don't. Who you who you blow. Where am I going now? Hoo-ha! What you smoke, what you snort. Makes no difference for us. So please quit making mockery out yourself, you schmuck. Hoo-ha. Like the Fast and Furious franchise, can I ask you that you just stop? I'm sorry to say that this point, it's just ludicrous. And we just don't give a Hoo-ha. So, hey, bitch, move out the way. We didn't ask you to contribute. Okay. Hoo-ha. Katniss, you won't ever be Dean. You won't ever be Spanos. Okay? So simulate this Peter Pecker. Maybe then you'll get your flowers. Okay. Chip away, Mockingjay. Address the team and tell Telesco who to hire. Go ahead and show your sponsors who you think is catching fire. Because, of course, the odds of guessing right may be ever in your favor. But before you bore us to death with your train of thoughts and I can't read, and you do us all a favor. Kiss these 3 middle fingers and stick them where the sun don't shine. Nah, I'm just kidding, Boltfam. You know, I love you. FTR. Okay, love you, bye. Hoo-ha.
How's it feel?
I don't fucking like it at all. That's hard. My apologies, Boltville. I do not have a Morgan Freeman. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know where you heard that.
I don't. I need proof.
You need to not drink before you write these questions.
I have a
714.
I have a mediocre hoo-ha. Just because I've been hanging out. Literally, Adam and I, on our last job, all we did was talk like Al Pacino. So that's
we were hoo-hawing at each other.
Just literally hoo-ha. People didn't
One
want to be
side of the
around.
room, you just hear hoo-ha.
Yeah, that was it. So, yeah, there you go. One and done.
Oh, big man.
Big man.
All right. Well, and that was it's kind of a
he doesn't like mock drafters. And you know what?
Clearly not.
That's
so
okay. That's okay.
Stop looking at him.
That's okay. Boltville, it's okay.
Change the channel, my guy. You don't have to. No one's forcing you to read all of these mock drafts.
No,
so.
but I get it. The culture of mock draft, and everybody has like, I know how to do this, and if you don't like it, kiss my ass. Hooah.
Right.
Like
it's
I get
this
it.
way or the highway.
And guess what? In 1 week, it won't matter anymore because we'll know who we have.
There won't be any highways.
Let's go.
To go down.
Yeah.
All right. Boltville 714. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Lexi M, who asked the question. It's been a couple of crazy weeks for the NFL in general, and now we see that Jalen is getting paid more than Mahomes. That's not the direction I expected, but good for him, I guess. Keeping my optimism up for Herbert's payday. Question. If you had to live in a fictional world from a book or comic or manga, what would it be and why? Bonus question. If the other two were in the world with you, who do you think they would be? Thanks for the great content every week. Love you. Bye.
We didn't talk about this, but yeah, they Jalen Hurts kind of
came out of nowhere. Yeah.
And honestly, what Justin has is rookie of the year. But I think if you were to look at the contracts, like Jalen Hurts just went to the Super Bowl. So I think that is probably a comparable where Justin's probably going to land. You know what I mean? Unless his agents are super ninjas or samurais. Not ninjas, samurais. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be interesting to see if they take care of Justin before the season starts or after the season ends, which with a new offensive coordinator like Kellen Moore and gets them a little further than they're used to being.
Pay that man his money right now.
I mean, it's obvious. I mean, the potential for a bigger contract if you wait too long, obviously, is
he goes to the Super Bowl. You're another $5 million a year. So just do it now. You know he's our quarterback for the future for the next 15 years or whatever, however long he plays football. Just sign him up for it.
Right. And we do know that they are in negotiations.
Yeah.
I did see that. So I'm sure something will happen prior to the season starting, but Jalen Hurts just really kind of set the bar.
They set a new bar. There's always a new bar. Every time the quarterback's getting a contract, it's going to be more than the previous guy. So,
yep. All right. So if we had to live in a fictional world from a book or comic or manga, what why?
I'm going Harry Potter, dude. Being a wizard would be pretty cool, I think. And the new series coming out, HBO Max. We had a long conversation about this.
We did.
I'm very excited. A lot about I'm very excited about it.
That was part of the luncheon conversation.
Yeah.
All right. So Harry Potter. So what house would you be in? And what would Kyle and I, would we be students or would we be teachers?
You'd be Ron.
I'd be Mr. Filch.
You'd be Ron to my Harry.
I'd be petting the cat.
Yeah. No, you'd be Ron to my Harry and Kyle would be Voldemort.
Whoa.
Yeah. Two-faced.
Damn.
It's coming from my shit.
Whoa.
The boy who lived.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Seems fair.
Yeah. Seems fair to have Voldemort on our podcast.
Let's go back to that last question. He's all powerful. He slams all my good takes.
So he couldn't be Dumbledore?
I guess he could be Dumbledore. All right, fine. He could be Dumbledore.
That's fine.
Dumble Dick.
Oh.
Oh shit. What about you?
Oh, boy. I'm like looking around my room going like, what world could I live in? I'm like looking at my walls trying to figure out. Who Framed Roger Rabbit would be pretty fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
A world
live in
where
a cartoons
world. And humans live in harmony and those gangster, the film noir type.
Yeah. Let's go
setting.
to Toontown, have some beers, hang out.
I'd like that.
Sure.
I would have to be a cartoon. I would probably be Roger Rabbit.
Okay.
You would have to be Eddie Valiant.
Yeah.
And Kyle would have to be Jessica.
He's got the tan for it right now.
No, Kyle would be the cab.
Just spinning out of control. You never know where he's going to be.
No, yeah, he'd be the cab.
Hey, Sammy, I don't know what I'm talking about. He comes in, bing. What do you need?
Yeah, he's always there when you need him.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Perfect. It's
All
a
right.
very politically driven answer. It was not. I like that.
All right.
Keep it copacetic.
Well, there you go, Lexi M. Thank you for asking the question. Let's
Thanks,
move it on
Lexi.
now to Ed Boyum, who asked the question. With the Commanders, name change imminent, now having a new owner in Josh Harris, does that make our owner the worst in the league? If not, is he in the top 10 worst? Sorry, not trying to be too pessimistic, just comes with the territory of our fandom, you know?
It just depends on your rankings, I guess.
Well, it depends on how
I think
dig you deep into some of these owners' closets.
I think Mark
too.
Davis sucks ass. Like you could tell by his haircut. I think immediately it goes to Mark Davis. That guy sucks ass. And then you could talk about where you want to rank the Spanos after that. But yeah, I think Mark Davis sucks ass.
I mean,
Answer.
because that's the thing. Like, I don't know the owners of every team. I don't know the good things they've done. I don't know the terrible things that they've done. I know that report card just came out, and while the Chargers were low, they were not the lowest. So, Arizona Cardinals owner making players pay for their own lunches and stuff. That seems pretty shitty.
Well, yeah. Well, I would say who is the hold on, bear with me.
Bearing.
Oh, it's Kraft.
Robert Kraft.
Yeah, he's like Emperor Palpatine of the NFL. He's just a real
Who
piece
knows
of shit.
how much shit
Everyone
that
hates
guy's
him.
gotten away with. Yeah.
So I'd say he sucks. I don't know if you didn't say anything about performance. You just said general suckage.
General suckage.
Right? Made
The
our owner
worst.
the worst in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some suckage going on. I don't think the Spanos are really that suckage. I've heard a couple stories about how teams treat their fans, even this year with the draft. I can't go into it too much, but the Chargers really do take care of their fans and what they do. So it's kind of, I don't know. Maybe I know a little too much about the inside to like really get hating on them, but Mark Davis final answer. Real ass hat.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand and
Totally.
feel for the fans that feel that way,
Especially the
But
San Diego fans that
absolutely. I mean, we were all in that same boat together. It's just
felt that for a little bit.
Yeah, we certainly felt it, but I don't know if I would say top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to imagine that there are some guys that have done some heinous things that we just either haven't heard and it's just been swept under the rug or we'll never hear.
Yeah. Or you get
So-
a haircut like Mark Davis, and then
Yeah. Oh God, he goes straight to hell to get his
straight to
haircut.
Dumb and Dumber bowl cuts.
Give me the usual, Satan. Okay. How's the wife and kids?
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Ed Boyum, thank
Thanks,
you
dude.
for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Mylerboss, who asked the question. Why is Mahomes still faking an injury? So for those that didn't see, James Palmer tweeted out, Patrick Mahomes says that he's still not 100% on his ankle. He really isn't limited too much as he pushes it in his workouts right now. They push it just the right amount in his mind during the week, but it's still sore on the weekends.
So I never fully said that he was faking it. I was just saying that he's a baby back bitch who wants attention. Is
Right.
what I was saying.
Right.
Because he's selective moments where he limps and he doesn't. That's just, it was
Exactly.
as clear as that. People read into it what they wanted. I posted something. It was the most hate from Chiefs fans I've ever received. It was
Nice.
like, it was awesome
Nice.
actually. Because I didn't actually say anything. I just posted the video. I said, what do you think? And I didn't say he faking the injury. I just said he was being soft. 'Cause, not
Well, he's turning it on when he wants to turn it on, and he turns it off when he wants to turn it off. So
Did this comment come out as soon as the new quarterback's contract happened? As soon
I
as Hurts
believe
got
so.
he's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I'm not in the limelight right now. Better really my ankle.
my ankle.
Oh,
Ooh, it still hurts.
I've
so-
fallen.
and I can't get up.
Yeah. Patty Mahomes.
Yeah. So is he faking the injury? Probably not.
No.
It probably is legit sore, but
Would he play with a broken rib cartilage? I'm going to go with no.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Would he play with a lack of an ACL?
No.
Don't
not
think
happening.
so.
Don't think so, pal.
So
we only with the tough ones. You know what I mean? That's all.
Right.
That's our Charger quarterbacks are the tough ones.
That's right, baby.
Come on now.
Mahler Boss, thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Mickey Coates.
Mickey.
Who asked the question.
If you could have any superpower, what would you pick? There's a caveat, though. One of the other co-hosts thinks of a side effect that occurs every time you use this ability. Oh, boy. Example. Coach picks the ability to fly, and then Kevin makes it so he feels deep hunger while he's flying. Oh, how often would you use the ability with these side effects? Let's make it so Kevin picks a side effect for Coach, Bulldog picks for Kevin, and Coach picks Bulldog. If you want, you can do 2 powers each and flip the side effect picker for the second time. Bulldog picks Coach, Coach picks Kevin, and Kevin picks Bulldog. Really curious how much you guys will hinder each other. Love watching the show. Oh, okay, love you, bye.
I wish Kyle was here for this one.
I do too.
We'll have to.
But he's not.
We're going to charge on without him.
We will. I see what you did there.
I am a dad and I have dad jokes, okay?
All right. So I guess we get to pick our own superpower.
You go first. I'll pick your side effect and we'll flip it.
Okay. I will go with stretchy limbs, like Mr. Fantastic, who can like stretch his arm and get something from farther away, or he can rubber band himself everywhere. I'll go with that.
Side effect?
Yeah, what's my side effect?
Explosive diarrhea. You just shit your pants.
You would.
Nonstop while you're stretching all over the place.
That would be, everybody's going to just be like, diarrhea.
Oh, God, he's here to save the day.
Your pants.
Oh, God, he's here to save the day. Everyone wants you there.
Why does he wear padded underwear? You'll never guess why.
He's shitting his pants.
He's literally shitting his pants right now. Well, he saves all those people.
He's so bendy, though.
If you listen carefully, you can hear it.
Yeah.
All right. What would be your superpower?
I could breathe underwater.
Ooh, breathe underwater.
Yeah. What?
I'm just trying to think of all the fun things that could happen to you that would hinder you from breathing underwater. Okay.
What you got?
Explosive. No. You have to wear a very revealing outfit so that it doesn't cover your gills, which happen to be right by your balls.
So dick out.
If you cover it up, you can't breathe. You got to keep it open and free.
That's how I breathe through
That's
that.
how I breathe. Yeah, that's how you breathe, not me. I'm over here shitting my pants.
And I'm breathing through my dick. Those are the worst side effects. All right.
I didn't say your dick. I said a round. You could go out with like a Red Hot Chili Pepper sock, basically.
Okay.
Anything more than that, and you suffocate.
That's all right. So just nude. I have to go fully nude, and I can underwater with breathing underwater. All right.
I mean, like banana hammock could probably work too.
But I'm talking like fucking Montezuma's Revenge, explosive diarrhea.
Oh, for sure.
Like painful.
Oh yeah.
While doing the greater good.
I mean, it's for the greater good. Here comes diarrhea, dude.
The diarrhea, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Every picture, I'm like, way in the background because I don't want anybody to smell what's happening.
Why is he doing that from so far away? It's a good thing he's so stretchy.
You saved like a ship that sank. And they're like, come out of the water so we can get a picture with you. You're like, no. I'm good right here.
Or it's like
zoom lens.
Or it's like James Bond just shamelessly emerging from the water beach, ready to go. I'm here. The kids start running, crying.
No, they're like... All right. Well,
thanks, Mickey.
There you go, Mickey. Thank you for asking. Oh, I just realized I did Mickey Mouse for Mickey.
Oh, that wasn't intentional.
That was not intentional at all. I didn't even think of that. All right, Mickey, thank you for asking the question. And thank you, everybody, for asking questions and Ask Boltfam. We really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys hanging with us with just me and Kev. We'll get Kyle back on the next episode, and that will be ever closer to the draft, where we can put all of this shit to bed.
Yeah.
We don't have to guess anymore, and we'll know who we have. But until then, I think that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts there, Kev?
No, tune in next week. We're going to reveal all the stuff we're going to be doing at the draft, and we're going to have some fun, guys. It's going
to be a good time.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. Ha! All right. That's going to do it for Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye. Oh, God, no.
Weird. This is so weird.
That's all you can say. It's just weird.
My dick.
It's my dick in a sock.
No, I just picture my dick actually breathing underwater. So gross. I'm not getting deep breaths. It's just little.
Or little bubbles.
Oh my god. I'm like sweating.
I know. I'm crying over here.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
This week on the Fightin Guyton.
Gee willikers, Fightin Guyton. That bank is getting robbed. What'll we do?
I think we need the assistance of some other superheroes.
What about those two superheroes? You know, the one that can stretch like rubber and that one guy who can breathe underwater. Oh, look, they're right over there.
Oh, weird.
Oh, God, no.
This is so weird.
No, that's okay. Tune in this Saturday for the thrilling conclusion of the Fightin Guyton.